Hello, and a very warm welcome back to Grow English Mastery. My name is Scarlett, and I am delighted that you are joining me for another lesson. How are you feeling today? I hope you are ready to explore some new ideas and learn some powerful English. Today, we are diving into the fascinating world of global finance and investment. Now, when you hear those words, what comes to mind? Perhaps you think of the stock market, of numbers flashing on a screen, of risk and opportunity. It can seem like a confusing and even intimidating world. You might ask yourself, how do people make smart decisions about money in such a fast-changing world? How do they predict what will happen next? We are going to explore these questions through the life and mind of one of the world's most respected financial thinkers, Mohamed El-Erian. He is an economist, an author, a former CEO of one of the largest investment firms on the planet, and a trusted advisor to leaders. He is someone people listen to when they want to understand the global economy. His story is not just about money. It is a story about having a global perspective, about the skill of communicating complex ideas simply, and about how to navigate a future that is full of uncertainty. He is a guide for our complex times. So, get ready to learn not just about finance, but about a way of thinking that can help you in many areas of your life. In our lesson today, we have several clear and important goals. By the end of our time together, you will have a much deeper understanding of the world of global economics, and you will have made real progress in your English journey. First, we will build a valuable vocabulary. We will learn key words related to finance and strategy. Words like investment, risk, market, and diversification. These are terms that will empower you to understand financial news and even think more clearly about your own financial future. I will make sure to explain each concept in a very simple, easy-to-understand way. Second, we will focus on a critical area of English grammar: modal verbs of advice, possibility, and necessity. These are small but mighty words like should, could, might, and must. These words are essential for giving advice, talking about future possibilities, and expressing obligations, which is exactly what financial experts like Mohamed El-Erian do every day. Third, our goal is to demystify the world of finance. Many people feel that this topic is not for them, but understanding the basics of how money moves around the world is a vital skill in the 21st century. We will learn that the core ideas are actually quite simple and logical. We will use Mr. El-Erian's clear thinking as our guide. Finally, and most importantly, we will be inspired by his story. His life teaches us about the importance of lifelong learning, clear communication, and maintaining a sense of balance and purpose beyond our professional lives. His journey is a lesson in how to be a thoughtful and successful global citizen. So, our mission is clear: learn new words, master new grammar, understand a complex world, and get inspired. Are you with me? Let's begin with the fascinating origins of this global thinker. The story of Mohamed El-Erian begins with a truly global childhood. He was born in New York City in 1958, but he didn't stay there for long. His father was an Egyptian diplomat, and his mother was a doctor. Because of his father's work, the family moved frequently. He spent his childhood living in many different countries, including Egypt, France, and the United Kingdom. Imagine what that must have been like. From a very young age, he was exposed to different cultures, different languages, and different ways of seeing the world. This experience was not just a series of travels, it was the foundation of his entire worldview. He learned to see connections between countries and economies that other people might miss. He was not just a citizen of one country, he was a citizen of the world. This global perspective would become his greatest asset. For his higher education, he attended some of the most prestigious universities in the world. He earned his undergraduate degree in economics from Queen's College, Cambridge University. He then went on to Oxford University, where he received both a master's degree and a doctorate in economics. This world-class education gave him a powerful set of tools to analyze and understand the complex forces shaping the global economy. After finishing his doctorate, his first major career step was not in the world of private banking or investment. He started his career in public service. He went to work for the International Monetary Fund, or the IMF, in Washington, D.C. The IMF is a major international organization. You can think of it as a financial advisor and a sort of emergency financial doctor for countries around the world. It provides loans and policy advice to countries that are facing economic difficulties. He worked at the IMF for 15 years, rising to become a senior official. In this role, he advised dozens of countries on their economic policies. He was on the front lines, helping nations navigate debt crises, high inflation, and other serious challenges. This experience was incredibly valuable. It taught him how policy decisions made in government buildings affect the lives of millions of ordinary people. It also gave him an intimate understanding of the unique challenges faced by developing countries. So, this first chapter of his career is crucial. He wasn't just a theorist in a university, he was a practitioner, applying economic principles to solve real-world problems on a global scale. He built a reputation for being brilliant, insightful, and a clear communicator. This combination of a global upbringing, an elite education, and practical experience in public service created the perfect foundation for the next, even more famous, chapter of his career. Now, let's pause the story and zoom in on our grammar. For today, modal verbs. Modal verbs are special helper verbs that we use before the main verb. They don't have a past tense or an ing form. They are simple, but they add very important meaning to our sentences, especially meanings of advice, possibility, and necessity. Let's start with should, which we use to give advice or say what we think is the right thing to do. For example, a doctor might say, "You should eat more vegetables. It's good advice." The negative form is shouldn't. You shouldn't eat too much sugar. In finance, advice is everywhere. Mohamed El-Erian might give advice like, "Investors should be patient," or "Governments shouldn't ignore rising debt." Next, let's look at could and might. We use these to talk about possibility, something that is possible but not certain. They are very similar. For example, "Be careful, the floor is wet. You could slip." Or take an umbrella, it might rain later. In the world of finance, nothing is 100% certain, so these words are extremely common. An expert might say, "The stock market could be volatile this year." This means it's possible that the market will go up and down a lot. Or, a new technology might create a great investment opportunity. It's a possibility, not a guarantee. Finally, we have must and have to. We use these to talk about necessity or a strong obligation, something that is required. For example, to get a driver's license, you must pass a test. Or, I have to finish my homework before I can watch TV. In the world of investing, there are also necessities. For instance, you must understand the risks before you invest your money. This is not just advice, it's a requirement for responsible investing. Or, a company has to have good leadership to be successful. Let's connect this directly to Mohamed El-Erian's work. He often acts as an advisor, so he uses these words constantly. He might say in an interview, "Central banks must be clear in their communication." Necessity. Emerging markets could be a source of growth, but they also have risks. Possibility. Therefore, investors should do their homework before investing. Advice. See how these simple words allow you to express complex ideas? By using should, could, might, and must correctly, your English will become much more precise and sophisticated. You will be able to express your opinions and ideas much more effectively. Now that you have these powerful modal verbs in your toolkit, let's talk about how to practice all your English skills using the story of Mohamed El-Erian. Active practice is how we turn knowledge into skill. Let's begin with listening. Mohamed El-Erian is a frequent guest on financial news channels like Bloomberg TV, CNBC, and CNN. You can find hundreds of short interview clips with him on YouTube. I want you to find one that is 2 or 3 minutes long. Your listening mission is this. Listen for the modal verbs. Listen for every time he says should, could, might, or must. What is he talking about when he uses these words? Is he giving advice? Is he talking about a future possibility? Don't worry about understanding every financial term. Just focus on catching these key helper verbs. This will train your ear to listen for nuance and the speaker's true meaning. Next up is speaking. It is time to use your own voice to build fluency and confidence. I am going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer it out loud. Just speak to the air if you need to. The goal is to form the sentence in your head and say it. Here is the scenario. Your friend wants to improve their English. Give them one piece of advice using the word should. Take a second. Now say your sentence. Did you say something like, "You should watch movies in English"? Or, "You should practice speaking every day"? Or, "You shouldn't be afraid to make mistakes"? Excellent. Now give them another piece of advice about a possibility using might. For example, you might find a good conversation partner online. Practice giving advice is a very practical use of English. Now for reading. Reading is a fantastic way to expand your vocabulary and see grammar in action. Find a short article where Mohamed El-Erian gives his opinion on the economy. You can search for his name and the word opinion. As you read, your goal is to highlight every modal verb you see. Notice how journalists use these words to report his ideas. Then, identify 5 new words related to finance or economics. Words like asset, portfolio, volatility, return, or inflation. Write down the word and the sentence where you found it. This context is key to truly learning what a word means. Finally, let's practice writing. Writing helps you structure your thoughts and use new grammar correctly. Here is your task. Write a short paragraph giving advice to someone starting a new job. In your paragraph, you must use should, must, and could at least once each. For example, congratulations on your new job. You should try to learn everyone's name in the first week. You must be on time every day. You could ask your boss for feedback after the first month to see how you are doing. This exercise allows you to practice the grammar in a creative and practical way. By doing these 4 activities, listening for modals, speaking advice, reading for examples, and writing with new grammar, you create a complete learning experience. Let's now dive deeper into the period of Mohamed El-Erian's career that made him a global financial superstar, his time at PIMCO. After his long and successful career at the IMF, he made a big move from the public sector to the private sector. He joined PIMCO, which stands for Pacific Investment Management Company. To put it simply, PIMCO is one of the largest and most influential investment management firms in the world. They manage hundreds of billions and even trillions of dollars for clients like pension funds, governments, and individuals. He quickly rose through the ranks at PIMCO, and in 2007, he was named the CEO and co-chief investment officer, alongside the legendary founder Bill Gross. He was now at the very top of the global financial world. His job was to help lead the company and make decisions about how to invest colossal amounts of money around the globe. His leadership was tested almost immediately. He took the top job just before the 2008 global financial crisis, the most severe economic shock since the 1930s. But unlike many others, El-Erian and his team at PIMCO were prepared. They had been warning for some time that there was too much risk in the financial system. During and after the crisis, he became famous for developing and popularizing a powerful idea: the new normal. This was a phrase he used to describe the EI world after the 2008 crisis. His argument was that the crisis was not just a temporary problem. It was a fundamental, long-lasting change. The world, he said, would not go back to the way it was before. What was this new normal? He described it as a period with several key features. First, slower economic growth in developed countries like the US and in Europe. Second, higher unemployment for a longer period of time. Third, more government regulation and intervention in the economy. And fourth, a shift in economic power from developed countries to emerging market countries like China, Brazil, and India. This was a revolutionary idea at the time. Many people hoped for a quick, V-shaped recovery, a fast return to the good old days. El-Erian's message was that we had to be more realistic. We had to adapt to a new, more challenging reality. His concept of the new normal, became one of the most influential ideas in finance and economics for the next decade. It shaped how companies invested, how governments made policy, and how people thought about the future. His investment philosophy was built on a few core principles that are useful for all of us. One key idea is diversification. This is the old wisdom of don't put all your eggs in one basket. For an investor, it means you should not put all your money into one single stock or one single type of asset. You should spread your money across different investments. If one investment does badly, the others might do well, protecting your overall portfolio. Another core principle is his focus on risk management. He believes that you must always think about what could go wrong. You have to understand the worst-case scenario. It's not about being negative, it's about being prepared. Only by understanding the potential risks can you make intelligent decisions about whether a potential reward is worth it. His global perspective, born from his childhood, was also central to his success. He always emphasized that in today's interconnected world, an investor in New York must understand what is happening in Beijing and São Paulo. Economic events in one part of the world can have huge effects everywhere else. Through his leadership at PIMCO, his influential writing, and his clear communication, Mohamed El-Erian became more than just a successful CEO. He became a trusted guide for navigating the turbulent waters of the post-crisis global economy. Beyond the big ideas and the impressive career, the story of Mohamed El-Erian offers us some very human and inspiring lessons that we can apply to our own lives and our English learning journey. One of his most admired skills is his ability to communicate. He can take an incredibly complex topic, like monetary policy or sovereign debt, and explain it in a way that is simple, clear, and elegant. He uses powerful analogies and storytelling. This skill is a superpower. It is what makes him such a popular commentator on television and such a successful author. It's not enough to be smart. You have to be able to share your knowledge with others. This is a profound lesson for us as English learners. Our ultimate goal is not just to know grammar rules and vocabulary words. Our goal is to communicate. We want to share our ideas, tell our stories, and connect with other people. As you learn, always ask yourself, how can I say this more clearly? How can I make this idea easier for someone to understand? Striving for clarity is one of the best ways to improve your English. Another, deeply inspiring part of his story is about work-life balance. In 2014, at the peak of his career, he made a shocking decision. He resigned from his incredibly powerful and high-paying job as CEO of PIMCO. Why? The main reason he gave was very personal. He wanted to spend more time with his young daughter. He told a story about how he had missed many of her important life events because of his intense work schedule. He realized that he wanted to change his priorities. This story resonated with millions of people around the world. It was a powerful reminder that success is not just about a job title or the amount of money you make. True success includes having strong relationships, being present for your family, and having a life outside of work. This decision showed tremendous courage and a clear sense of what truly matters. It teaches us to regularly think about our own priorities. Why are you learning? English? Is it for a better job? Yes, maybe. But is it also to connect with family who live abroad, to travel and have richer experiences? Remembering your deeper human motivations can give you strength. Finally, his story is a lesson in lifelong learning. After leaving PIMCO, he did not simply retire to a beach. His mind was too active for that. He became the chief economic advisor at Allianz, PIMCO's parent company. He writes columns for major news outlets. He wrote a best-selling book. And in a wonderful return to his academic roots, he became the president of Queen's College, Cambridge, the same college where he had been a student decades earlier. This shows an incredible passion for knowledge and contribution. He is always learning, always thinking, always teaching, and always engaging with the world. This is a model for all of us. Learning doesn't stop when you finish school. It is a lifelong adventure. Your English learning journey is part of that bigger adventure of growing your mind and your understanding of the world. So, the power of clear communication, the wisdom of a balanced life, and the passion for lifelong learning. These are inspirational lessons we can all take from the remarkable life of Mohamed El-Erian. As we approach the end of our lesson, let's talk about the most important tool you have: your mindset. Your attitude and your way of thinking can either accelerate your progress or hold you back. The way Mohamed El-Erian thinks about the world offers us a powerful model for a successful learning mindset. The first principle is to embrace uncertainty. Mohamed El-Erian's entire career is based on making decisions in a world where the future is unknown. He doesn't pretend to have a crystal ball that can predict the future perfectly. Instead, he accepts uncertainty as a fact of life. He focuses on building strategies that are strong and flexible, strategies that can do well in many different possible futures. This is a wonderful way to think about your English journey. You cannot be certain about every conversation you will have. You don't know what questions people will ask you. This can be scary, but you can embrace this uncertainty. Instead of trying to memorize every possible sentence, focus on building a flexible set of skills. Learn core grammar, build a useful vocabulary, and practice your listening. This way, like El-Erian, you will be prepared for whatever the future brings. The second principle is to think globally. As we learned, his global upbringing shaped his entire perspective. He knows that you cannot understand your own country's economy without understanding what is happening in the rest of the world. Everything is connected. When you learn English, you are not just learning a language. You are gaining a key to unlock the entire world. Use this key. Be a global citizen. Be curious about other cultures. Read news from different countries. Watch movies from the UK, Australia, India, and Nigeria. A global mindset will make your learning experience richer and more rewarding. It will also make you a more interesting person. The third principle is to stay calm under pressure. Financial markets can be incredibly emotional. People panic and make bad decisions. Mohamed El-Erian is famous for his calm, analytical, and unemotional approach. He looks at the data. He thinks logically. He doesn't let fear or greed drive his decisions. You will have moments of pressure in your English journey. You might have an important job interview, or you might get lost in a foreign city and need to ask for directions. In these moments, remember to be like El-Erian. Take a deep breath. Stay calm. Think clearly. Panicking will not help you find the right words. A calm mind can access the English that you have learned. Practice staying calm, and you will perform better when it matters most. So, embrace uncertainty, think globally, and stay calm under pressure. These 3 mindset principles, inspired by one of the world's top financial thinkers, will serve you well in your quest for English fluency. And with that, we have come to the end of our exploration of the life and mind of Mohamed El-Erian. We have seen how a global childhood and a world-class education created a unique thinker, and how he used his knowledge to advise countries and lead one of the world's largest investment firms. Let's quickly summarize what we have achieved together. Today, we learned about his incredible journey, from the IMF to the leadership of PIMCO. We explored his most famous idea, the new normal, which shaped a decade of economic thinking. We added powerful words about finance and strategy to our English vocabulary. We also mastered the use of the modal verbs should, could, might, and must to give advice and talk about possibilities. And we discussed practical methods for you to sharpen your listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. Most importantly, we found inspiration in his story, the inspiration to communicate clearly, to seek a balanced life, and to never stop learning. His life shows that in a world of constant change, the most valuable assets are a flexible mind, a calm demeanor, and a truly global perspective. I hope that this lesson has not only improved your English, but has also given you a new way to think about the world. The principles of sound investing, diversification, understanding risk, and patience are also wonderful principles for life and for learning. Now it's your turn to be the advisor. Using a modal verb like should or must, what is one piece of financial advice you think everyone should know? It can be very simple. Share your piece of wisdom in the comments section below. I am always so interested to read your thoughts and ideas. If you found this lesson helpful and interesting, please give it a thumbs up. It tells us we are making the right kind of content for you, and it helps other learners discover our channel. Please also share it with a friend who might enjoy it. And of course, if you have not subscribed to Grow English Mastery yet, please do so now and click the notification bell. That way, you will always be the first to know when we release a new lesson. Thank you so much for your time and your wonderful focus today. It has been a privilege to be your guide. Keep learning, stay curious, and continue to invest in yourself. You are your own most valuable asset. My name is Scarlett, and I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson. Goodbye for now.